right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our post-qualifying media availability. We've now been joined by Chase Briscoe, who won the pole for tomorrow's NASCAR Cup Series race here at Michigan International Speedway. We'll go ahead and open for questions. If you have one for Chase, raise your hand, and we'll get a mic to you. We're going to start with Zach.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Chase, congratulations. How do you translate this one into another solid run for the 19 team?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's something that we haven't been able to do so far. So, yeah, I don't know. It's been a lot of different things. You know, truthfully, like every week, it's just been something different. Sometimes it's me not doing my job on the racetrack or, making a mistake on a restart or, we've had bad pit stops. Like, it's just been a multitude of things. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint what we really need. The biggest thing is just to maintain our track position, kind of from start to finish. We've been able to start up front, which is awesome, right? But to be able to stay up there just takes a full, complete day, and that's something that we haven't quite been able to do. So, I don't know. Hopefully tomorrow will be that day. Truthfully, out of all 3 weeks, I would say this weekend's been the least favorite car I've had in race trim, but I don't know. Sometimes that can be a good thing.
All right, Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires.net. Thanks for the 5 bonus points in my fantasy
Yeah,
league. I
there you go.
appreciate that. Yeah. So in practice, you obviously were very fast, and then you go out there and get the pole. What, without saying specifics and getting the secrets, what are you guys doing to come to the track so fast off the truck?
Yeah, I don't even know where were we in practice. A second. Yeah, I thought my car drove really good on the short run. The long run, I definitely needed a little bit of help. I thought, I was behind the 45, and the 45 I thought was kind of the class of the field. So I was kind of judging myself off him, and I feel like normally when you do that, like even last week, I knew that Denny was going to be one of the guys to beat, and Blaney. So I don't know. I definitely feel like our car needs a little bit more, but yeah, our cars have just been really, really fast. They drive, relatively good, and qualifying I feel like has always been truthfully like a strong suit of mine. Like even at SHR, I always felt like we kind of overachieved at times, and now I just finally have the car that has the capability to like actually be on the pole, so it makes my job a lot easier. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to obviously do 3 in a row. I'd definitely trade all 3 in just for one win on Sunday, but it's definitely been nice to be able to do that. I feel like we haven't been able to really show the work from starting on pole Saturday because we haven't still been getting the stage points and things. So hopefully tomorrow will be different.
All right, additional questions? Do you have another one? Okay.
Regarding that win on Sunday, the Toyota coming in here into Ford and Chevy's backyard getting a win would be huge. How big would that be for you, aside from just the win itself?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pride that comes in winning, here in Michigan, just because of the obviously the manufacturer stuff that goes on up here in Detroit and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I feel like every time you come here, especially in my past, right, like this is a huge emphasis weekend because you were in the backyard, and there's a lot of pride. I mean, this is the only track that I can even think of that has a manufacturer trophy, right? Like it's a big deal to win here from a manufacturer standpoint. So for us to come here and be on the pole is obviously a big deal, and we definitely want to get a Toyota in victory lane tomorrow.
All right, go ahead.
So your lap today was the fastest qualifying speed in 7 years since 2018. Did it feel that fast?
Yeah, definitely coming here with the new tire, we thought that we were probably going to run wide open. But you never really know till you get here, and I think Noah was the first car out, and he ran wide open, so it was pretty immediately I knew that the whole field was going to run wide open. So, yeah, I had called Noah right before I got in the car, actually, and I was like, how easy was it? Was it like a Daytona, Talladega style wide open? He said, yeah, man, it's easy wide open. And I did not feel that way. My car was definitely kind of on edge. I was like on the verge of lifting a couple times. Christopher, I thought, had me beat, and he had to lift off of 4, and that was the same spot where I thought I was going to honestly probably hit the fence. So, yeah, it was not as easy as I thought it was going to be, but the speeds, I think, just come from the corner speeds. We're running wide open now, so the corner's faster, and that translates down the straightaway. So, yeah, definitely every time we come here, this is the one place that certainly gets your attention just from a speed standpoint. There's not a lot of places we go where we're over 200 miles an hour, so it'll be intense tomorrow for sure.
Okay, we'll come up front. Oh, go ahead. We'll start in the back and then come up front to Zach.
Chase Elliott Emily with Woodward Sports here. A quick question. There's Michigan used to have 2 race weekends on the schedule from prior seasons. What are some of the single track races that you would like to see doubled up on the season, whether that be Michigan or elsewhere?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. You know, I almost feel like a lot of the time, like the crowds are definitely way better when we go places once. But yeah, I don't know. I with Homestead being the championship race now, I don't think we need to go there twice. But that would have been a track before it was the championship race. I would certainly say that we need to go to twice. And you know, the only other one that kind of stands on the top, you know, like as soon as I think about it, would be the Charlotte Oval. Like I think that's just a great racetrack for this car currently. So that would be another one I would say I would love to go to twice.
Okay, Zach.
You mentioned the Charlotte Oval. You did follow up the poll there with the top 5 finish, but didn't quite get the stage points that you would have wanted on the front end of that. Is there anything from this stretch of intermediate races that you feel like you guys have learned that can be applied to how you guys approach tomorrow's race?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Michigan is its own unique animal. Like there's nothing else that we go to that's like this. So you know, like Charlotte, you can kind of work your way through the field. You can still do that here, but you just get so spread out here where Charlotte, you don't have that as much. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's definitely things that we can learn from all of it, right? You know, even Nashville last weekend, you know, that was something that I certainly learned at the end of that stage. You know, I think I was leading with 6 or 7 to go, and I caught Larson. I tried to lap him, and it cost me going from first to third, and that ultimately lost me even a chance to win the race because that's when I kind of started bleeding track position. So, you know, just knowing now and you know, now that I've been up front more, just trying to understand like how to take control of the race, but actually maintain your track position. That's something that's been a challenge, I would say, for me, just mentally, is, you know, at the 14 car, like I would have to be so aggressive on restarts and make these crazy high-risk moves where I might gain 3 or 4 spots, but I might lose to 7 or 8. And I'm still doing that in this car, and I don't have to. Like, my car is good enough now. If I'm running 6th or 7th on a restart, just try to stay 6th or 7th, and over the course of the run, you're going to work your way up there. But, you know, last week, I restarted 6th, and I tried to make a move, and I came out 10th. And, you know, you just start bleeding track position. So I definitely feel like I've learned a lot over the last 2 weeks, just starting up front, trying to understand kind of how to maintain your track position. So hopefully I can finally apply that now.
All right, we have time for one more. Dominic, go ahead.
Dominic Otto, going with the racing experts. Just based on practice or even before you hit the track, how confident were you that you could win the pole today?
I would say this is definitely the least confident I've been, you know, going into the last 3 weeks, just because, you know, the last 2 weeks at least, we went out super late. I think we were the 3rd or 4th last car out, which is typically an advantage. You know, here with us all running wide open, it's not as big of an advantage, but I mean, I truthfully, I knew the Toyotas were going to be really good. I knew the 19 car's been good, but I did not anticipate getting the pole, especially when we all started running wide open. Like when I saw Noah ran wide open, I thought there was no way I would be on the pole, just because I think it was Vegas this year. The whole field ran wide open, and all of us were kind of like 15th at best. So I just figured with how Las Vegas had went, you know, we were probably going to be in the same kind of boat here. But for whatever reason, you know, the Joe Gibbs guys have done a really good job of, you know, just being ultra aggressive and learning things. So hopefully, you know, that'll apply tomorrow.
All right, Chase. Congratulations again, and best of luck tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.